So on today's episode, we're putting a fuel pressure relief valve in a C4500 Kodiak with a LLY Duramax in it. Welcome to Project Time Garage. This is a GMC Kodiak C4500. It's got the Duramax diesel with the Allison transmission. And last weekend we were camping, and on the way down there, the engine derated itself as soon as I went to step on the gas. So I was limited to, like, I don't know, 2,000, maybe 2,500 RPMs. I don't really know because the tach doesn't work. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, the truck derated itself, and I had to pull my camper the rest of the way to the park, about 45, 50 miles, with almost no RPMs to play with. That was rough. So we get to the park, get my buddy to swing by and bring me a scanner. He just happened to be coming to camp next to us. So he brought my scanner with him when he came by my house and got it. And the truck is throwing a P1093 code, which is low fuel pressure during an enrichment condition. Basically low fuel pressure at the rail. And pretty much any of you Duramax guys out there are probably going to know already what that means. It is usually the fuel pressure relief valve. Sometimes it could be the fuel pressure regulator. So today we're going to throw the fuel pressure relief valve at it. Here's another thing that's a little interesting. Listen to the idle on this thing. It kind of raises and lowers. It's not a consistent idle, but sometimes it is. Seems that the hotter it gets, or the more up to operating temperature it gets, the worse it is. And I believe that's probably also part of the fuel pressure relief valve problem. Or maybe not. Maybe it's the fuel pressure regulator. I don't know. Well, you can probably tell by my shirt, I'm not a Duramax guy, but I'm pretty sure the engine lives under this end. So let's get the hood open. Well, the fuel pressure relief valve, it is somewhere back in this area. Well, since everything that I'm looking for is way back in here, I'm going to go ahead and get this air filter housing out of my way, and maybe that'll free up a little bit of room for me. Unplug mass airflow. Easy enough. So in this case, for this particular application, it is evidently the part we're looking for is on the end of the fuel rail, and I don't think we can access the end of the fuel rail from under here. I think we're going to have to go inside and pull the doghouse off of it and access it that way. So let's go inside and go ahead and pull that doghouse and see what it looks like. So on these, the doghouse is here in the floor, and it just has clips that you pick up. Well, I wish all my vehicles had this nice access. Pretty nice. You can see everything from here. Now, to find what we're looking for. Well, in our case, right there is the actual part we're after. And I can't really see that well from here, but it looks like it says FAS on it. If it says FAS on it, that indicates that it's been replaced. Interesting. So, was it replaced because it did this before? Or was it replaced when the FAS fuel system was put in it? Because somebody put a FAS system in this? Or is this not the problem at all? Is it really the fuel pressure regulator? I don't know. I do not know. But here's what I am going to do. I have a factory OE valve, and we're going to go ahead and put the factory OE valve back in it and see what happens there. Drive it a little bit and see if it does this again. If it does this again, then I will probably go ahead and replace the fuel pressure regulator, which means a whole bunch of stuff has to come off. Well, there's the part. It's a Bosch part number. You see it there. Actually there, CAA 517. And this is supposedly the OE replacement. Yeah, that looks pretty well genuine. Not much to it, just a pop-off valve, nothing else. Okay. Let's go to the truck and see if we can get the old one out and the new one back in. Well, that says PPE. I don't know. I don't know if it's any better or worse or what. I have no idea. But either way, we're gonna go back in with a new one. Well, there it is. It's installed. That wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it would be. I guarantee you, I wish all my vehicles had this doghouse opening back here. I mean, you can access things so much easier. Wow. Anyway, let's start it up and see what it sounds like. I think the other thing we probably should do is run it up the road, get on it a little bit, and just see if it's going to throw that coat or not. Well, let's go see what we got here. See if it did any good or any bad. Well, it has plenty of power. Of course, it had plenty of power before. We'll get on the interstate here and see, give it a little bit of Give it a little bit of beans. Let's see what it does. Well, it does good. Tell you what, out on the highway, this thing absolutely just cruises. Really, really comfortable. You'll notice the tach doesn't work and the fuel gauge is erratic. Earlier it was reading probably correct and now it's full tank. We got to do stepper motors on this. We'll give her some beans one more time, one more hard pull. I'm basically trying to demand a lot of fuel in hopes that if this issue is still present, in hopes that it will overpower that fuel pressure regulator valve that we just put in, or relief valve. Evidently what's going on with these things is that that little pressure regulator is in the very end of the fuel rail, and if the fuel rail sees too much pressure, it basically just pops that thing open and lets fuel bypass back into the return circuit, effectively keeping your fuel rail from over pressurizing. It's a safety thing. And from what I understand is these things get weak and get old, the spring inside them, the little pop-off spring, starts to lose its tension and allows those valves to pop off too early, and that's what causes it. It's a fairly easy thing to overcome. I mean, most cases you can pull over on the side of the road and shut the truck off and let it sit for a while, let the pressure bleed down in the fuel rail, and once the pressure bleeds down, the thing will close back up and you can go on and drive again until it overpressurizes and cycle repeats itself. But regardless, ours should not have popped when it did, if that's even what happened. I'm still not completely convinced that's what happened. This could also be, fuel filters. Could be bad filters or dirty filters. It could be a fuel pressure regulator. It could be an obstruction in the line somewhere. Basically anything that would cause your fuel pressure to not have enough, or would cause your fuel rail to not see enough pressure. Anyway, time will tell. Well, let's hope that solved the issue. The test drive has gone pretty well, but there again, I'm not convinced that I can reproduce this issue every single time I want to reproduce it. I think this will only happen in times of lots and lots of fuel pressure if that's the problem. Anyway, time will tell. We'll be pulling our camper again here in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure I can make it happen if it's going to happen again. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching as usual. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. Guys, I'll see you next time.